Forget everything you thought you knew about archaeology. Right now, at the Taposiris Magna Temple in Egypt, something is unfolding that has the entire world holding its breath. This isn't just about another entrance to ancient ruins. Scientists believe they have found something incredible, the long-lost tomb of Queen Cleopatra. For over 2,000 years, her final resting place has been one of history's greatest mysteries. Now, that mystery seems tantalizingly close to being solved. But what's hidden inside is causing serious global concern. This isn't just a burial site, it's a time capsule containing something that was never meant to be found. And scientists have already entered the first sealed chamber. Cleopatra and her lover, Mark Antony, vanished from history in the year 30 BC. Their deaths marked the end of the powerful Ptolemaic dynasty. Ancient accounts say they were buried together in a magnificent tomb, a final act of defiance and love permitted by the future emperor, Octavian. The tomb was to be a luxurious monument within a temple dedicated to the goddess Isis, with whom Cleopatra identified, even being revered as her living incarnation. However, the city of Alexandria, their capital, was not spared the ravages of time. Earthquakes and tidal waves caused significant parts of the ancient city, including the royal quarters, to sink beneath the waves, taking many of its secrets to a watery grave. These cataclysms erased most visible traces of the last great queen's reign, and for generations her tomb became more of a tantalizing legend than a historical target. Countless explorers have tried for centuries to find this monument, but no convincing evidence was ever discovered. The eternal resting place of the Nile Queen remained hidden. Recently, however, a new wave of research has rekindled hope. For years, the search for the tomb was filled with false leads. The main focus was on the sunken island of Antirodos, where Cleopatra's majestic palace once proudly stood. French archaeologist Frank Godiot began underwater research there, discovering columns, statues, and countless artifacts from her time. But the tomb itself remained elusive. It became clear that wherever Cleopatra was buried, it wasn't beneath the ruins of her palace. So scientists turned their gaze inland toward the ancient temples that dotted the Egyptian landscape. Ancient texts hinted at a temple complex to the west of Alexandria, Taposiris Magna, meaning the great tomb of Osiris. Traditionally, this temple was seen as a place of worship, not burial. The idea of Cleopatra choosing it seemed unlikely, but one archaeologist, Kathleen Martinez, challenged this conventional wisdom. Her hypothesis was bold, based on Cleopatra's deep connection to the goddess Isis. What if Cleopatra, in her final act, chose a burial site that evoked the ancient myth of Isis and Osiris? Driven by this theory, Martinez began her painstaking excavations in 2005. Her team uncovered a labyrinth of shafts and tunnels, and even found coins bearing the image and name of Queen Cleopatra. Yet the elusive burial chamber remained hidden. Then, in 2022, the search entered a dramatic new phase. Martinez's team detected an anomaly under the main temple. It was a tunnel, expertly carved into the rock, stretching for an astonishing 1,300 meters. This hidden passage exceeded all expectations with its grand scale, but its exact purpose remained a profound mystery. The expedition to explore the tunnel was perilous. The team faced flooded sections and the constant risk of collapse. But deep inside, at the tunnel's end, the researchers found what they had been searching for, a large, sealed chamber. As they approached, the atmosphere inside the tunnel changed. The air grew thick, electronic devices began to malfunction, and even their lights seemed to dim. Wisely, they paused the penetration until a safer method could be developed. The archaeological world froze in anticipation. Could this finally be the resting place of Cleopatra and Antony? Inside the corridor leading to the main chamber, archaeologists found dozens of smaller burial chambers. Many contained mummies wrapped in fine linen and gilding. One mummy was even adorned with a golden scarab over its heart, an unmistakable symbol of eternal life and divine protection. In one side chamber, two sarcophagi lay side by side, near a cryptic inscription about a queen and her warrior. Then things got strange. Seismic monitors began registering faint rhythmic pulsations originating from deep within the sealed chamber. It was as if the earth itself was murmuring a warning in an ancient language. One stone slab near the entrance bore a sinister warning: "Do not disturb the lovers," suggesting their sacred bond preserved some kind of universal balance. Near the main chamber's entrance, they found a small golden tablet. Etched upon it were the names of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Behind it stood a final barrier of granite and lead. The decision to breach it was monumental, but the temptation was too great. The area was quickly cordoned off by military personnel. Inside, in the center of the chamber, sat a monolithic sarcophagus made of black granite. It seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. It had no inscriptions, no identifying symbols. Analysis of the granite revealed unusually high concentrations of rare, unearthly elements, and the sarcophagus itself radiated a faint but measurable heat. Air samples from the chamber revealed anomalous concentrations of mercury vapor, along with traces of arsenic and other toxic substances. The team opened it. Inside were two remarkably well-preserved mummified forms. Radiocarbon dating matched their time of death to the year 30 BC. And nestled between them lay a mysterious bronze cylinder inlaid with strange minerals. X-rays of the cylinder revealed faint, shifting organic shapes deep inside, and the artifact emitted sporadic bursts of electromagnetic radiation. The excavation was meant to be a strict secret, but information inevitably leaked, spreading across the world like wildfire. Soon after, several members of the research team developed persistent respiratory symptoms. Medical tests revealed the cause: dormant bacterial spores from the air in the sarcophagus. These were unknown strains of extremophile bacteria, able to survive for millennia in a sealed environment. Worse, some spores showed resistance to all standard modern antibiotics. The entire team was immediately placed in a strict medical quarantine. The World Health Organization secretly issued a critical warning to global health agencies, and the Egyptian government imposed a strict quarantine on the entire site. They hadn't just opened a tomb, they had opened Pandora's box. This wasn't just ancient history. It was preserved, living biology, suspended for millennia, and now it is reawakening. The world now watches with a mixture of awe and absolute terror, wondering what has truly been unleashed from the final resting place of Cleopatra. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into history's greatest mysteries. See you next time.